everyone, welcome back to Perspective. I know I have not uploaded a video in forever, but I am definitely getting started today with my really lovely, beautiful friend, Kenya.
Hi, I'm Kenya.
So with dating and where it's gone now with just technology and platforms being so involved in the whole dating aspect, and it's also like just during this time with really, everything being shut down and just what's going on right now with the whole pandemic.
I saw a commercial literally the other day. Now it's all about just being on the phone or on the computer, FaceTiming.
I heard that
video
too.
Chatting, things like that.
I heard that too.
That's the new norm now.
That is the new norm.
And it wouldn't be the new norm a couple years ago.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
let's even say 6 months ago. Honestly, I was like still going out on dates, like do it, And when this all came along, I was just at actually a particular time in my personal life where I was kind of just like not necessarily over the fact of dating, but I was dating honestly like pretty consistently and just not meaning that like right person, and that gone on honestly for like a couple of years. So I've definitely like dated and like put myself out there, and I just never, and majority of these were through dating apps like Bumble, Tinder, Hinge.
I've never been on those dating apps.
Well, because she's in a relationship, so that's the difference. But yeah, I guess so. You'll get two different perspectives from someone that's dating and someone that's in a relationship. But as far as I go right now, where my point is like, I just completely deleted all of those apps. I don't have any more dating apps on my phone. And for me, it really is a combination of like where we're at in the world right now.
So tell me about these dating apps. So, like,
yeah,
are they all the same purpose?
Actually, it's so funny. I do feel like there's different, not even necessarily people, but like different mindsets on these different apps. Like as far as like Hinge, I actually do feel like a majority of people that are on there would kind of want to lead into a relationship. And Tinder,
I have to tell you something off cam though.
What?
That's just a funny situation with it.
Yeah, you'll have to tell me about that. But
sorry.
No, you're good. And then with Tinder, I just feel like Tinder actually is what it is. It's like,
bam,
yeah, it's just like, but Tinder, you can, on any of these platforms, you can make it what you want.
Can you find people to just hang out with?
Yeah, I've met so many people. I think that's one of the like huge pluses of these dating platforms is that you are going to meet people that are just genuinely cool. You're not necessarily on this romantic like stage together.
I have these judgments of those dating apps. I don't know why. I just think they're complete BS.
They can be.
I think
absolutely can be.
I'm so biased with thinking that the men on there really aren't looking for love. They're looking for more of just like what they can get out of that person that they meet up with, and it always is like sex or just something to their own wants. But I mean, everybody on there has a want for a reason, so I understand that much. But I just can't take anybody seriously like on a dating app because it's like you're in a pool of a lot of people.
Yeah,
it's the old school. For me, it's to just be out and like if you meet that one person or whatever, it's cool. Like but I do like to talk to people online. I think that it's healthy to be curious enough to just know who people are sometimes. Being in a relationship, it can definitely hold you back from that all the time because of the laws and the what are they called?
Like standards.
Quotation.
Yeah.
It's just more of like, he's mine, she's mine, don't talk to her. But like, why? Because do you think you're gonna like cross a certain line with a certain person or?
Right.
It's not even about that, but like, okay, once you get that over with, then what? So what's really lingering afterwards with this person or I don't know, things like that. And I just think that, you're in a relationship, and I'm completely for relationships. I think it's great to be with one person and to want to meet that person. But that one person is almost in everybody. Like, you can find a good thing in a lot of people.
That is actually, that's a point that's actually, I agree with that. I do agree that
there's a lot of great
people. It's interesting. There are a lot
of great conversations and personalities, and why be succumb to one?
And that, you know, I agree.
That's where, like, life partners will come in.
Well,
Will and Jada.
Oh my
I'm kidding.
Well, that's, I mean, even with Will and Jada, I mean, I think that's, they also show you that, like, each relationship really is different. Like, you know, they're completely open. They talked about that whole saga with, you know, Austin, I forget his last name, but you know, August, what is it?
August Alsina.
Okay, August Alsina, you know, and they talked about it right in the open and talked about open. So, like, each relationship is different, but I do agree, definitely to a certain extent, that you can find qualities in
a lot of
different people,
individuals, and
I think, like, with dating and, like, dating, you know, and just seeing where things go, like, I find that very true, and that's why I'm like, I actually do agree with that, because you know, I'm kind of slowed down now just because everything going on, and I'm really just focusing on my own shiznit right now, but when I was really actively dating, like, that was one thing I definitely I realized is that, like, a majority of these people were actually just really cool, and we ended up just being friends or just taking some other route towards it.
Or
and
just learning a new human being, and learning that in itself is a good
experience.
A good expression too.
Yeah.
Just to kind of experience it.
No, exactly. So I do agree with that. Definitely. That there's a lot of good people out, and, you know, and I think that's it.
But why don't we really talk to these people?
Well, what do you mean?
So, like, if you're in a relationship, why is it hard to talk to somebody new? Is it
because
protect someone's feelings?
Yeah.
Or is it because you're scared of something? Or is
I think it...
Like, what is it? Because once you know these people and you're not afraid to introduce certain people to whoever it is that you're involved with or whatever it is,
right.
Like, what else from there? Is it just more of the fear factor of not being number one? Is it the...
That's very true.
Is it the jealousness? Is it, like, what is it? Or how do you know if you're with somebody and they're the one versus somebody else out there being the one? Like, what makes anyone the one? Is it just how you're individually treated? Is it how you think in your head this person is going to treat you?
Right.
I'm sorry, I'm just rambling.
No, but I think there's points to that. I do think, well, bottom line, like, in general, each relationship is different, so I guess we're each talking to our own experience and stuff, but I do believe, like, as far as, like, where does that come from, like, when you want to talk to, like, just a different person or want to get to know them more, just on not even a romantic level. Yeah, just not even on, and you're in a relationship.
Because I find it intriguing to just get to know
absolutely, and that's honestly how Kenya. That's how, like, that. She's just a very open, like,
I just want to know.
Person. Yeah, it's not, like, even coming
mind.
at people, like, in that way, but I could see how that could cause some type of to a relationship. But then I think in that aspect, specifically to this, is that, like, that person just, I mean, maybe, like, communication and just, like, talking.
And so I'm completely honest. I just think if you're in a relationship with somebody, you cannot be afraid to tell them how you feel, what you think, even if it's bad or not, because ultimately you're going to be in prison for your own mistake of what you decide to say and not to say. And I think if you are feeling different, you know, from day to day or month or whatever it is, or you just feel different that one day, like, express it to your partner. I
agree.
Why the hell else aren't you with them? I think that's that one person you ultimately trust with your thoughts, with your feelings, with your mind, and if you can't tell them how you feel, then you're obviously scared of something, and whatever you're scared of, that's ultimately what's holding you back. And then that's why you kind of have to shuffle through your mind and understand, like, what is it? I don't know, just things like that. So let's talk about your last tryst right now, because that sounds pretty juicy. I mean, I want to know your thought process through the whole thing I mean, definitely not gonna mention names or anything.
Yeah,
like,
no, I'm not. But
what did you go through with your last dating experience?
So yeah, my last dating experience would probably have to be this guy that I met. Where did I meet him? I met him through a mutual friend. It was a mutual friend. And this was probably like a few months ago, a little bit right before everything was happening. That's like how I was able to meet this guy. And so he got my number. I could tell he was interested. Like, we were definitely like talking. He was,
But like on a surface interested or a deeper interested?
I felt like it was a little bit of combination of both. Like, I was like, okay, it seems like he does kind of want to get to know me a bit better, because he was very attentive, like, at this like get together that we were at.
Kind of like there.
Yeah, very much like there. Like, when I would, I don't know, it was just like kind of social. Like, he made it a point to talk to me.
Okay.
So
that's great.
Yeah, no, it was, and he, then like I was like, okay, like, he's cute. So we started talking, we exchanged numbers, and we did keep in communications like a few weeks. This went on for a few weeks with just kind of like chatting and hanging out. We would, he would come over, I would go over, we would just chill. But then probably like, after like a few dates, you kind of realize where it's gonna go, or and so after like the last date actually we went on, I realized like I'm not like it's that like infatuation or attraction.
Okay,
that,
so there
like,
was a moment of that
where I actually realized, like,
do you know what it was? Maybe
I think it was just what was I honestly I think it's just that like that
lust.
that like that like
It's
infatuation and like wasn't really there for me, and so
do you think it's because it's new or because it was mysterious?
Well, I like let it go on like a few times because I was like, he's super cool. He was a really like cute, like really just he has his stuff together, like just he was like a good guy, and I definitely was like trying to see if it will go somewhere. But towards like, after like 3 weeks or so and like our last date, I really came to terms that infatuation and like that wasn't there for me. And I think it was like,
it's weird how it can kind of just dissolve in a way, right?
Well,
that
like,
part of how you feel, at least.
Well, for me in that situation, I felt like I was trying to see if it was even gonna get there, if it was even, and I know people sometimes like fall or they'll see someone and like they'll just know, but I don't know. I've been in different situations where like I've got to like know someone and it built up to something, but yeah, with him I was trying to see if it would build up to anything, and it just didn't. And I think, luckily, like, I think he just really understood. Yeah, this is dating. Yeah. So, towards the end, we just kind of went our own little separate ways. And I always wish him the best. He's, like, an amazing guy. So
that is so... I just think that's bullshit at times. Like,
what?
You're giving time to actually put into somebody, but then you find out it just doesn't.
That's, it's so funny.
It's like,
and unfortunately, I think, not even unfortunately, but it's just like a different stage. Like, that's why I deleted all of these dating apps, because it's like I was putting a lot of time. It was a lot of my time that I was putting onto these dates.
Time.
Yeah, and just like meeting different people and trying to see if it would go somewhere. Like, it is. And, I came to a point, that was just like, I have tried like to focus on different people and like get this like that whole like boyfriend aspect, like if just going, if that's where like there was a point where that's where I just really want to be, like the idea of a boyfriend was just like yes, like in my mind. But at this point I'm very comfortable with just where I'm at, and
or just talking regularly.
Yeah, like if I'm just exactly right off the bat, like that.
I think it's just a mysterious thing, men and women, to have to go through these processes to actually create something out of it. My whole view on dating is completely different, maybe from her point of view.
Yeah,
it's
it is,
way
because we're coming at different
Yeah, so
aspects.
Not in a bad way, but because you're not in a relationship as long as I have been, your whole views
is completely
many years,
different.
We have completely different views.
And I just know that
we're women, so we
that's
have the
our
same
common
views.
ground. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I've had conversations with Jenny before. It's like I do not care for her opinion based on a woman's view because she is Jonathan's cousin. You cannot be
I will
passive
be slightly biased.
You just exactly.
Regardless, and she knows that.
And I trust that.
Yeah,
it's just what it is. It's just what it is. But when you get along with somebody, you're able to talk things out without those passive judgments or whatever it is.
But okay, and then so I would say going into the next topic, just like how do you feel? Because actually, I really am thankful that like I'm able to work from home during this time, and I know you were still going into work. Do you feel like your company did put up the guidelines necessary, or do you feel comfortable at least in your own sense, speaking for yourself, not the company?
Yeah, I don't trust really anything out there. To an extent, I mean, even coming over here, it is.
We took our own precautions, like even though we are like, but no, we've been sad. And I recently, like, I went to go get tested. I got tested negative, and she has just been taking precautions since the very beginning.
And I'm a Cosmo, so if you're a Cosmo, then you understand. We work with bodilies.
Okay.
Hair, skin, nails, like that's all a human transmission point of contact for most is you're gonna be touching humans. So not in a weird way, it's just more of like, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I think that you don't know who's gonna be coming in your chair sometimes. Right. You don't know who's gonna be touching that door or where they were before, who they had contact with, who did something gross. I mean, it's just like that. So my fear level is pretty up in the red zone, but I think right now it's a really weird time in just human history. This is like history repeating itself from back
unfortunately
then
with the Spanish flu
with
the whole
the Black
racial
Death. Like,
the Black Death.
We're like on.
I'm like going to.
I'm talking about like just like
the Black Death. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, I just saw a thing on Snap that said that some guy was diagnosed with the Black Death.
Oh yeah, I heard
Did you
that
see that or hear that?
Yeah,
How after all these years is this happening? How? Where the hell does that come from? One rat in like 100 years?
No, I know.
Or when did the Black Flu happen? Was it like in the 18th century, 19th century, 16th century?
The Spanish flu was like, what?
That wasn't too long ago.
No.
That was like in the 1900s, I think.
Was it? Oh, like 1918. I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was, okay, I think it was in the, or was it 19th or 18th? Oh, okay, I'm like, Google. Oh, gosh, she has to. Is that Jonathan?
Yeah.
Tell him I said hi.
No. I'm just kidding. She said hi, John. Let's see. Black Death or the Spanish flu?
Spanish flu. I think that was 1918.
Oh, snaps.
Doing my research. But yeah, so Spanish flu already happened. Black plague did already happen as well. And, well, Spanish flu is just the most recent. And it's really unfortunate that, standards here were just not able to be met.
Fast enough?
Yeah, fast enough. And even, like, the whole beginning of this pandemic, like, just things could have been rolled out so differently for us to not be where we're at now. And unfortunately, those steps were not taken. So we're basically at complete, like, step one again. So complete rollback. We're from Phoenix, Arizona. So we're in one of the hot spots right now.
The desert?
Yeah. And, well, the desert and literally, like, the hot spot for Corona. Like, we're, like, topping world, like, numbers.
To be honest, when I go out in public, a lot of people don't act like it. that we are.
And
I mean,
so
businesses
sad.
put signs up, obviously.
Do people wear masks in your job or at the customers?
So now it is
okay. That's what you're saying.
Thing.
Finally.
We need to have them wash their hands right before service. We need to have them wear a mask. They can't enter the establishment without a mask. And just being as cautious as we can. I mean, in the Cosmo world, I'm pretty sure everyone knows barbicide is the ultimate cleanser, sanitizer, disinfectant. And right now we do have a shortage in the world, in our Cosmo world. So
really?
If you see that anywhere, you gotta cop that. And it's one of the best cleaners, I think, above like
the
Clorox
right,
at least, that is gonna keep your mind and physicalness safe. I mean, when you're clean with barbicide, you automatically trust.
Okay, yeah, that's like actually
viruses,
high.
Things like that. But a lot of our clients I've seen and our traffic has declined a lot. There are a lot more people who are
sick,
fearful. No, just more fearful of being in contact. But then you do have your people who are like, I don't care. I just want to.
See, and that's the thing about where we're at. I do feel like it's a very like either or. Like there's not, and not necessarily. It really should be like obvious. There really shouldn't be a gray area in this whole situation, but. In AZ, it's very like you either do believe it and like are taking precautions or you're not.
I feel like being from AZ, it makes me more like I'll see reports of other places being more infected or more hot spots and stuff, and then I feel like, oh well, I'm not close to there. I'm in Arizona, so I'm fine. And then next thing you know, you find out you're in a hot spot where a lot of
all of it's like one of the rises,
and it makes me feel like I'm being less cautious. At first, when this whole thing happened, I was the person wearing gloves and being scared to even just step outside my house, rolling with the windows down. And I feel like I'm understanding the importance more than before when I just did it because the hype was happening, but now I understand why it's happening now.
Right.
And it is important. I think a lot of people don't understand how many people out there sneeze, how many people out there cough, and then touch things. They'll cough into their hand and then touch, clothes on a rack when you're shopping, or opening a door handle even with your forearm. Like, clean your forearm with hand sanitizer. Like, you're doing all these things. It is a big deal because those germs literally will crawl in your body. Take your shoes off when you get home. I mean, you're tracking in floors that a million other people are walking on as well. I think right now is super crucial to take care of yourself with how you're cleaning yourself and handling germs. You can't see them obviously, but you're aware of them subconsciously or consciously. Like, they're there, so do your best. And
definitely do your part.
Stay at home. Like, I'm guilty of wanting to be out. I have this energy in me where I do want to be around people.
We were just saying that. We were like, damn, we would wish, but we're not gonna go. We're gonna stay here at my house. Like,
and this is enough. But I mean, the energy's there. We're both the same. We both just want to be out because that's what we are. Humans. We want to be social and just be out. But we're trying to take care of.
Just be
other
be
people
responsible. We were just talking about this too, that we both know people in our close friend group actually that have tested positive, and I remember in the beginning she was extremely precautious, like,
I remember when this was hitting the China headline.
Yeah, like she was very on it.
I was on top of it before it came. Yeah,
in January, like I remember we were having conversation. Like she was very, and I was still like, well, I know it's starting to get, but just, and AZ's numbers were very low at that time. I think we had less than like even like 400 or something. It was just very low, like still maintained at that point. So, but obviously as time goes on, like, then I started to work from home. I've been working from home since mid-March, and still it's like indefinitely not knowing.
And aside from the importance of, the germ virus part,
right?
But what is it doing to your social life?
Oh, it's done everything to my social life. I don't have one now.
I mean, it's all like if it existed a couple months ago and then all of a sudden it's non-existent anymore. I think that I'm seeing the difference of knowing who real people are versus not knowing who's really there. And it's like the people who I'm choosing to be around now are very well chosen, thought out.
Same. And we were talking about this exactly when she was coming over.
Yeah.
That even before she came over, like I texted her and I was like, hey, like, do you know if you've been exposed? Like, have you got tested? You know, just
making those precautions.
Exactly. Before you even though she's family, she's my cousin, you know, but
it's
like
still, we're human.
Exactly.
We're
I'm like,
just
for both of us to be safe.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, and obviously, yeah, if you're
she
a
wouldn't
friend,
put me in harm's way.
Absolutely
I wouldn't
not.
put you in
Yeah,
harm's way
exactly.
had we, known or whatever.
And even that small conversation, was like, hey, do you know your status? If you don't, like, do you feel good? Like, or, just what precautions have you been taking to actually not, get COVID? So there were definitely conversations that were had even before we met up today. And this is actually the first time us meeting up since the whole pandemic happened. Yeah. And so,
we actually went out like a week or two before
it hit. She was
crazy.
Oh
I'm thinking about it right now. It was a long time ago.
Wow. Yeah, we actually we all met up and
I missed
that was so
Is it
fun.
Pia or Mia?
Pia. Or wait, Preet.
Preet.
We love you. Hi, Crystal.
I miss you
There are
guys.
these two little twins, cute little twins.
Hot twins.
That came out with us as well that night. So it was just like these twins, I'll probably have them on sometime. We'll have them on because
we'll have a chat.
Yeah, they are just like very beautiful, like genuine girls, honestly. So yeah, we'll definitely have to have them on. And they're just a fun little time. So you know how that goes.
We'll have a Priya Crystal sandwich, double meat. We'll have a twin on each side.
Exactly. But yeah, so overall, just like the precautions are necessary, with even meeting up with family or whatever you're doing. If you're meeting up with someone in general, even if it's just one other person, because it's just us, still those questions and precautions are important. So
because you don't want to be caught hanging wondering.
Yeah, dude, that's the worst.
Could I picked anything up?
Yeah.
Any contact is contact. It's
important. Exactly. Any contact is contact.
Yeah.
So, yes. Okay, so that was a good one.
Yeah.
So,